Welcome into the Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio this afternoon around 1:30 as we are getting going today. It is game week. Lane Kiffin spoke to the media via Zoom a little while ago. We have a depth chart, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break that bad boy down. We got a lot of stuff going on today's show. We're here with you over the next little bit. Moving my
Depth
camera a
chart,
little bit 'cause I
baby.
think I'm a little in the wrong place. But anyway.
You don't have headphones on, so you didn't hear the celebration.
Oh, you had a celebration?
Yeah, depth chart.
It's kind of like a goal in hockey a little bit, like the first part
Yeah.
of it, the siren, the horn, whatever
Yeah.
it is we're getting going.
It's exciting to have depth charts.
Neal has sound effects and he really likes them over there.
Well, especially when they fit in. Like getting a depth chart, that's exciting.
So, a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk a good bit of football. We had we were with you Saturday night. We've had another weekend of that, and NFL Sunday. Where honestly, other than people getting hurt, I don't know a whole lot about what happened on Sunday.
It was a rough day in the league.
Yeah, a lot of guys getting hurt, a lot of big names getting hurt, a lot of important players out for a little bit. I was looking at the TV. We have news on sports at the moment.
Trump will name a Supreme Court pick by the end of the week.
Yeah,
turning that bad boy into a fight.
And it will be a fight.
Well, it's going to be a fight, and so many people on both sides of the aisle are going to have their words from 4 years ago thrown in their faces. But it's what
You're
it is.
here for it.
Oh, I mean, they all did it because that's all a totally political thing. They all did that 4 years ago. You can literally everyone. So it just that will cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for a certain appointee. We're not going into this today, I promise. I'm cheering for a certain appointee for the chaos that will ensue and the mixed messages that will ensue. I think it will be feeding something straight into my veins.
Really?
Yeah.
You're engaged on this one a little bit.
There's one in particular that if she gets it, I will be thoroughly engaged because I will enjoy watching the tap dance.
Do you think Lane Kiffin was completely honest today? What'd you think overall? Honest?
I mean, as coaches go, yeah, he was pretty honest. He said the two big things. He's not naming a quarterback publicly. He said one's going to start and the other might play. I think we can read between the lines there, but maybe we're going to end up being all wrong. I don't think so, but
that would be quite the oop-de-oop.
Well, it'd certainly make us question multiple sources. Let's see. The other was that there's nobody in COVID protocol.
2 weeks in a row now.
And nobody in last week there were a couple of guys still in protocol.
In quarantine.
In quarantine, whatever. Yeah. I guess I'm using NFL words for the
no
college.
positive tests 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
For Ole Miss football. He said hopefully week 3, same thing for the third week in a row because that means full roster go.
Yeah.
He said that if they do have positives, obviously he will not release that. You'll just find out on Saturdays when somebody doesn't play that there could be some I guess implied gamesmanship there if you will.
I think everyone will be that way though. No one's going to put out a release on Friday that says the following players tested positive for coronavirus and will not be playing Saturday. Can you imagine how excited Dan Wolken would get at that? Oh,
if you get that list every Thursday.
To get that press release, he'd have to take a minute to collect himself.
Depth chart, you buy it? Mostly. We have no choice necessarily, but I mean, there's a lot of oars on there.
There's only one oar.
Was it just one?
I just saw one oar.
No, there were a couple. No.
Oh, did I miss a couple?
Yeah, there are a few oars on there.
Oh, okay. Well, it shows you my attention to detail.
What, did you write it down?
I did. I wrote the whole thing down so that I could start learning it a little bit. You want to break this down position by position for the next 6 hours? We'll just break this thing down. Have different sponsors sponsor different receiving groups or offensive line, the defensive line brought to you by.
We could do that.
That would actually be really funny. If we had thought ahead, we would have done it that way.
Just little quick classifieds. Just you know what? It's all good. Yeah, there's a lot of ors. Let's see. We've got. Let me find them. I mean, a lot. That's not necessarily correct. But on the offensive side of the ball, as you are aware of, Matt Corral or John Rice Plumlee, and then at running back, Jerry and Ely or Henry Parrish for the starter.
Yeah.
And then Snoop Connor or Tylen Knight for the number 2 spot. They're getting everybody listed is what they are doing.
Okay.
But
I need to go back and fix that on the site because goodness gracious, after all this time, you want it to be right.
And you did not have that set up?
I did not see those ors, but I was writing and I was multitasking.
At wide receiver, Dontario Drummond is the starter. Braylon Sanders or Miles Battle is the number 2 at that position. At tight end, the number behind Kenny Yoba, the number 2 tight end is Chase Rogers or Casey Kelly. Casey Kelly, is that Chad's brother?
That is
Chad's brother, right?
correct. Yes,
that's what I thought.
So any place where they listed 3, there's an or.
Most likely, yeah. I haven't noticed where there is not that being the case.
Was there an or between Eli Acker and Cedric Melton?
No, actually, that's just a straight 3.
Okay, so my 3 theory does not hold.
It does not, no. Because it also lists 3 at right guard. Jeremy James, by the way, a little bit of a surprise starter there. Redshirt freshman at right guard. Caleb Warren and Carter Colquitt are the 3 listed in first, second, third. There is no or there.
Okay.
Royce Newman at right tackle is the starter, as you know. Eli Acker and Cedric Melton, as he mentioned. Ben Brown, Peyton Cox, the 2 centers mentioned. Reese McIntyre drawing and start, another redshirt freshman at left guard. Jalen Cunningham, his backup, and then Bryce Ramsey, the 3rd team left guard there. Although Kivins mentioned Ramsey a few times during camp. Nick Broker, Hamilton Hall, the 2 left tackles mentioned, as well as Tobias Braun. He is listed at left tackle as well.
3rd team left guard brought to you by Clark Ford, home of the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for, and he'll send you a quote within business hours. 15 minutes within business hours. 662-257-1900. What was the other or the running back position? The backup running back position brought to you by Rafters. Music and food, Rafters on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place to hang out this weekend. College football, obviously on Saturday, Ole Miss and Florida. If you can't get into Vaught-Hemingway, maybe you can get into Rafters. And then football all day. CBS at 2:30, SEC Network at 3, ESPN at 6, the SEC Network at 6:30. Finally, college football in the SEC all Saturday long. Rafters would be a great place to check that out. Rafters on the Water is open also out at Sardis, and Rafters New Albany as well. Rafters will be a part of our game day coverage right here at MPW Digital as well. So check them out at Rafters if you're coming up this weekend for any of those locations. And remember, they brought you the backup running back depth chart spot.
This podcast brought to you by the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. Speed Pass Plus app. When you're coming into town for the game this weekend, when you're leaving town, stop on by because you can be quick on the way out. You can fill up right there. Pay on the app. Again, Speed Pass Plus app with all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. The lunch special is $5.69 for those 2 sides bread. 32-ounce drink there with the Oxford Exxon. So stop in. They'll take care of you. The sausage is good. They've got plenty of different ribs and other smoked options as well. So again, they're in Oxford.
The other topic of conversation, I'll give Ben Garrett credit. He asked this question every week, and he asked it again today. And the answer is probably very frustrating for Ole Miss fans. Otis Reese still not cleared by the NCAA, and if I'm interpreting what Lane Kiffin said correctly, as of this moment, how do you say his name? Dean Leonard has not been cleared by the SEC yet. So, as of today, neither one of those guys are playing on
He said
Saturday.
both could potentially be starters. Said it'd be great to hear it, but
yeah,
who knows? So, anyway. Let's see. On the defensive side of the ball, a few more orders there as well, I believe. Just kind of clicking through it. Tisdale, the starter at defensive end. Ryder Anderson listed at number 2. However, Anderson also listed as the starter at defensive tackle. Bivens behind him, and Ladarius Cox behind him as well. Katie Hill, the nose tackle, Hal Northern or Patrick Lucas as the backup at nose tackle. At Buck, they have Tavius Robinson, the junior college transfer, or the junior transfer. They have him and Sam Williams listed as an or. Sam obviously will play a lot. It means a lot of nothing. Brandon Mack listed third. I think he's going to play too, so I think they're going to rotate a lot.
You think Sam Williams will play
Saturday? Well, Lane said he's a little behind on conditioning, so I don't know. You really got to work him in. I don't know. It's kind of like, back in 03, I know he was young. Patrick Willis didn't know all the plays, so you couldn't play him all the time.
Right,
you had to really make him earn it and get back into the good graces of things as they move through. Lakia Henry, the starter at Will, along with Ashanti Sistrunk, and then Jaquez Jones and Momo Sonogo at Mike in the middle. Star Dalen Gill, maybe a little bit of a surprise a little bit. He is listed ahead of Jay Stanley at the star position, and then Keydron Smith, Jamar Richardson at corner, Jalen Jones, John Haynes at a strong safety spot, A.J. Finley or Jalen Jordan listed as a starter at free safety, and then Mark Britt behind them as well on the depth chart technically, and then the other corner position, Ja'Cory Hawkins, the starter over Lakevius Daniel. So that is your depth chart brought to you by whoever the hell it needs to.
You skipped some. At kick return, Jerry and Ely.
I apologize.
Jerry and Ely is listed as the number one. Jalen Jones behind him. Elijah Moore, Danis Jackson listed as punt returners. Luke Logan, the kicker. Casey Griffith, number 2 there. Mac Brown at punter. Walker Thompson behind him. And then if the Logan Griffith order applies at kickoff as well, Jack Probst is the deep snapper, backed up by Jared Lawrence, and Mac Brown is the holder.
Good job.
Thanks, man.
You mean to freak people out a little bit for a minute, the people that just find pessimism and everything that I say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jerry and Ely, I did not even realize this. He's draft eligible in baseball this year.
Oh, yeah. He would be.
Yeah.
Oof.
2 years, draft eligible. He's not going. At least you could have an A.J. Brown situation with Jerry and Ely. Somebody wanted to offer him a couple $100,000 to put in his pocket to hold him in some summer occasionally, let him continue to go after the football thing. That wouldn't completely surprise me.
That would actually be smart, although I don't know that this is the season that Major League Baseball will have that kind of money laying around to do it. It'll be tight this year in baseball.
That's a good point. Yeah. I didn't really think about that. Well, do we know what the draft may be going to?
No, they don't.
Next time?
They don't know yet. More than 5 rounds, but not 40. Probably closer to 5 than to 40. There's some hurting teams. You're going to see not to go deep on the Major League Baseball thing at all, but you're going to see a lot of guys who otherwise would never be non-tendered get non-tendered. Just say, hey, we can't do it. Can't afford,
is what it is.
Can't afford to go to arbitration with you. Can't go to the next place. We're just going to non-tender you. That is going to happen a bunch. The backup punter brought to you, by the way, by the Oxford Park Commission. Are you ready for some flag football? The Oxford Park Commission will have a youth flag football season at M-Trade Park this fall. Registration has started. Will continue through October the 4th. You believe it's already almost October? Leagues are available for ages 6 to 12 at a cost of $40 per child. There are discounts available for multiple players from the same family, so visit oxfordparkcommission.com for more details on signing up.
Do you expect an answer on Reese before Saturday? What do you think? What's your guess?
My guess is no.
You don't think so?
What it sounds like.
Did we ever get an answer on if they have a full staff or not because of all the furloughs in the NCAA?
Oh, no.
Like, obviously, they're clearing some people, so clearinghouse isn't completely out. But, I mean...
No, I don't think they're running full scale. No, I don't. It's a mess.
Stuff you got to get them answers prior to the dang season. I mean, this is... Half the leagues aren't playing.
I know. I don't understand, especially when you consider the fact that everyone's going to get this year of eligibility back anyway. Why would you just not make everybody eligible?
Yeah,
you've already thrown in the towel and said we're gonna let everybody play. So let everybody play. And the Leonard thing, that's on the SEC. Because to the NCAA's credit, they went ahead and cleared him.
Yeah.
And now the SEC's dragging its feet there.
We talked to Lane today. He said they won the mock game on Saturday. He did have a little sense of humor at the beginning, at least.
That was funny. That was funny.
He deadpanned it a little bit. He goes, "Yeah, mock game, we won. That was good.
We won. That was good."
Because it did not sound like they would have won in a normal game situation. He was not very happy with his offense whatsoever. He said a lot of turnovers, mostly interceptions from the quarterback position. He mentioned he said no third down conversions. I have a hard time believing there were literally 0 third down conversions, but maybe so. I don't know. He mentioned 8 sacks at one point, or not one point, for the defense on Saturday. Second week in a row that some of the scuttlebutt out of practice has been more defense oriented than offense oriented. He said offense was up and down, didn't play well, especially in the second half as they were going on and on. So he says more consistent quarterback play is the answer to fixing the turnovers, because he mentioned they were interceptions, not ball security issues from the running backs. He gave very little indication of what would happen at the quarterback position, although he did say he expected both to play. He said one will start. He thought both would probably play on Saturday. How are these reps going to be divvied up, Mr. McCready?
I don't know. Parrish Alford really tried to drill down on the game plan, got absolutely nowhere.
Nowhere.
At some point, some of these guys are going to figure out that two things. One, Kiffin's not going to talk strategy. He's not really going to talk depth chart, and he's instructed his players not to, and so they don't.
He's instructed his players to. If it doesn't have to do with, hey, what do you think about this or this dude, you know nothing.
Yeah,
because like later on, Lakia Henry was asked about the social justice demonstration. There's no way he knew absolutely nothing about it, but he went, I don't know, no clue.
News to me.
Damnedest thing, huh?
Oh, really? We're going to do something cool. How about that? Yeah, that's the other thing for those of you that are bothered by this, and I'm not criticizing, but there are people that are bothered by this. It does appear that Ole Miss and Florida are going to do something in concert on Saturday related to the social justice protest. I don't know what that is. Questions were asked. They were not answered. And but as of today, the plan is to do it with Florida. So the two teams are going to do it together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. I believe Kiffin's quote was, I think you'll find it neat. That was what it was. All we
something
got.
Like that.
Yeah, I think he said neat. I don't know. Something like that.
I hadn't gone back and listened. I knew you were doing quick hits. I wrote the Lakia Henry story before we got on. That's up at rebelgrove.com. It's part of the Rivals Network.
Yeah.
You can still get it.
They basically give it to you. You just have to sign up. They'll mail you a check every month.
Yeah, it's kind of like a ULM degree. Hey, here you go.
What's the toughest major at ULM?
Pharmacy, probably.
They have a pharmacy school?
Yeah, and they just got a law school, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually really pretty.
How many law schools are in Louisiana?
LSU, of course. ULM.
Tulane, I would assume.
Yeah, I think, doesn't Tulane have a law school?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
trying to think public law schools. That might be it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's not one at, like, the Loyola campus or anything like that in Louisiana?
That's a good question. I just don't know.
I don't know why we're even discussing this, but we are. So it is what it is. We'll get into a little more. Lane said he was when I go back and read it, he actually was pretty good today. Like I mentioned, do you believe everything he said? But he said a lot. I mean, he is from the on the topics that he is going to answer. He said a lot. He dodged several questions that you knew going in he was not going to mention. As
I asked him about just the emotions of coaching his first game, and I thought his answer was truthful, which is I'm not a very emotional guy. I don't really get into that. And then he talked about how much work had been done to get to
He was proud of a lot of other people for getting them a football season. That was what his answer in that way meant. He mentioned medical personnel. He mentioned ADs, Chancellor. He mentioned Greg Sankey, the commissioner. Yeah. He started with Greg Sankey, actually, and worked his way down.
I got to say this because I've been critical of Sankey at times. I've been critical of the league a lot of times. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again because I think it deserves to be said. Greg Sankey and the people at the SEC office, assuming we get to Saturday and you turn on your televisions and there's football, you owe them a lot because there was an incredible amount of pressure on them to cancel. And there were 2 or 3 days there in August when that pressure would have overwhelmed a weaker person and a weaker group of people. There was Monday, Tuesday, that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday in August. I don't remember the exact dates. The pressure to cancel was overwhelming. It was coming to them from medical people. It was coming to them from other conferences, from presidents and chancellors and the super scared and all of that. That was everywhere. And to stay the course the way they did.
Down. Okay.
They slowed down.
One in front of the other, but we're going to just keep going.
I told all the schools, hey, take a step back in the prep. Don't go to pads yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't go to pads yet. Go back to that phase 1 sort of thing and just keep working, stay in shape, take a deep breath. Let's reset a little bit. And did that in a very calm, methodical way, and here we are. And there are some COVID issues. Missouri has some COVID issues. I think Florida has some COVID issues, though, Dan Mullen.
Florida did have COVID issues at least. I don't know what they currently have or have not.
Dan Mullen was asked today. He said he will not comment on if anyone is out this week with COVID or contact tracing. Quote, you'll find out Saturday.
Which means yes.
End quote.
Which means yes. So he has kept his media policy in check from Starkville to Gainesville.
He was asked about his memories of his feelings about Ole Miss, and he said, I have 5 great memories and 4 terrible memories. Mullen on calling Ole Miss the school up north. I don't think I said Ole Miss for 9 years. Now I say it, but that's part of the deal.
Hey, credit to you. It's part of the deal.
Part of the deal.
You know what? I don't really give a shit, but sure. Sounds good. Like I
didn't give a shit then either.
Yeah, right.
That's the dirty little secret. He was so intellectually superior to the 2 people that he competed against at Ole Miss primarily. Houston Nutt that first year and then Hugh Freeze. There's no question who wins the IQ contest in those 3. It's not even it's a blowout. So he toyed with Freeze. Freeze fell for it. He said he thinks Lane will do a good job at Ole Miss. Lane's a good coach. On his team's expectations, I want us to be the absolute best we can be every single day, and I want to compete for championships. He is in full cliche mode on this Monday.
Yep.
He was asked about his favorite win at Ole Miss, and he said, the last time I was there, we had a great win, and the first time I was there, we had a great win. They were both really, really good.
So 9-16.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that's right.
9-16. Yeah. It's been 4 years since Dan Mullen's estate. Really? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Moorhead was there for 3 years.
Was he there 3? That's what I'm trying to.
I don't know.
Are we a year off? Was it 17?
No, Mullen's last game was 17.
Yeah,
remember that was the Fitzgerald broken leg game.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I couldn't make 16 be right in my head.
The Breland speaks.
Well, he said the last year,
wave.
and I was like, no, you didn't win. And then I was trying to make Dan be right, I guess, put it that way.
He won. What I mean? He won his last game at Ole Miss in 16.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is that what he meant?
That's what he meant. He must have meant that he won in 10 at Ole Miss, and then he won in 16 at Ole Miss.
Okay.
Because he lost in 12 and 14 at Ole Miss? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He went 2-2 in Egg Bowls in Oxford.
Yes, that's correct.
And he went 3-2 in Egg Bowls in Starkville.
Yes, that is correct. All right. Now that we have that out of the way, podcast is also brought to you by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
The return of SEC football is here. Join the Ole Miss football team as they take on the Florida Gators Saturday at 11 a.m. Limited tickets remain. Can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. You can't make it to the big game. Ole Miss Athletics is pleased to offer the home team campaign. Participate in weekly trivia. Win a Lane Kiffin bobblehead, and watch the Rebels take the field live. Visit OleMissGameDay.com/home team for details. The Ole Miss men's and women's basketball team wants you in the pavilion this season. Season tickets are on sale now and can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. And you can gear up for game day this week with Powder Blue. Purchase your game day pom, polo, or T-shirt today by visiting Rebel Shop rebelrewards.com, and Rebel Rewards, the official rewards app of Rebel fans, brings all new experiences this season, including game day, selfies, weekly trivia, and stadium light shows from your home. Download the free app today by searching Rebel Rewards. Rebel Rewards, be rewarded. We're also brought to you by Jupiter Security Systems. Reminds me I need to get in touch with Eric today. He tried to do something for me yesterday, but he couldn't because I was using the computer. He's based in Madison, Mississippi. Jupiter Security Systems provides your business with a help desk, allowing you to get software at a much cheaper price than you would pay going directly to Microsoft or the different cybersecurity services. Jupiter Security Systems offers businesses the full Microsoft 365 suite, email, spam protection, and monitor their workstations and servers. They don't see your data, but they do know if malicious applications get installed on your computers. They can set up remote monitoring on a computer regardless of the location. So don't spend money on getting your employees new laptops to work remotely. Let Jupiter monitor their home computers and protect your data wherever you choose to work. They offer cybersecurity and monitoring. It's basically ADT for your computer systems and data, and it's very affordable with a flat price, no hidden add-ons. For more information, call Eric at 601-519-9583 or email info@jupitersecurity.net or visit jupitersecurity.net.
We are asking the stream if we have a name for the pregame show. We are working on that. I think we're down to a couple. You'll hear soon. We're trying to finalize that decision. Basically, it gets down to just, hey, pick one and go with it.
You received my email with the ones that I thought were.
There were one or two over those that I'm fairly okay with.
Yeah.
One that I probably like better than the rest.
As I was afraid would happen in that thread, it got so silly that
we lost the.
Yeah. It was entertaining, but from a, hey, help us find a name, I'm not sure that it was all that productive.
A lot of people just recycled. I said, like, we asked them to name the post-game show last year. That didn't work, so they just used the same name for the pregame show. Yeah. Well, not going to work for there either, probably. There are a couple holdovers that have a shot, but, yeah, I don't know.
The problem, by the way, with naming it the Potato Log Podcast is that requires an explanation to so many outside people that I don't want to always have to explain it. It's a funny inside joke.
We would have to start it every day.
Yeah, it's a funny inside joke. But that's about as far as it goes.
It works much better, on, say, a T-shirt or a cap or something along those lines.
Yeah. People have been asking where that stands. Where does that stand?
I think a day, two tops. Okay. Yeah, it's imminent. I know they were adding items to the site today.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I think we're very close there. I do believe so. Anyway, yeah, we're close. Let's see, getting back in, see what else is updates from the quick hits that I had not already mentioned. I asked Neal to judge reps. Like I said, he said both will play. The question that Parrish asked was basically, what is Plumlee's role should he not be the starting quarterback on Saturday?
It was a good question. It just had a zero.
He asked it in the only way to potentially get a shot.
It was like me going up to Kate Upton and saying, hey, Kate,
I get ...
Assuming that Justin wasn't around, what are my chances? And her saying, I don't want to hurt your feelings by telling you 0, so I'll just tell you I don't do hypotheticals because Justin's around.
That's fair. Tommy John surgery, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Bless his heart. How do you get through the day?
So I guess ESPN or somebody did a thing on his stats since 2005, and in those 15 years, he's ranked first or second in Major League Baseball in basically every category. I mean, been dominant for a really, really long time. I mean, he was way up there and everything. Let's see. Lane mentioned that COVID really hurt them on defense those first couple weeks, but frankly, some of them playing better is simply getting guys back the last couple weeks. Said Sam Williams still coming on from a conditioning standpoint. He mentioned that with Robinson a little bit as well. He's worried about Florida's team speed on Saturday. Obviously, Florida's quite athletic, quite talented. They're staying in Oxford instead of Tupelo the night before games now.
Yeah.
That's just a little other thing. So they take a few more buses than usual leaving. And then he mentioned guys who would play as true freshmen Cedric Johnson, Mark Britt, Henry Parrish, Kentrell Bullock, and maybe Eli Acker are the ones that Kiffin mentioned when asked that question. So he had very little idea he had no idea that Dion was going to be the new coach at Jackson State, but he said, "Hey, good for him.
Yeah,
it's all good." He put no time in that question whatsoever.
No, you could tell that he has been locked into getting ready.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Kiffin would probably not admit this, but based on things I've heard, and so I'm going to be careful here and make sure that I say that I am speculating, because I am somewhat speculating. Well, I'm a lot speculating when I speculate on what he felt. I think he was one of the coaches that there were times in the spring/early summer that he did not think this season would happen. He prepared for it, but I don't think deep down he thought it was going to happen, based on some things I've been told. I don't know that he'll ever admit that. I don't know that we'll ever have enough of a conversation with him to get that deep. But there were certainly coaches who felt this season would happen, coaches who felt that it wouldn't, and everything in between. And I think he was closer to it's not going to happen than it will.
Yeah, I think I'll buy that. Mark Britt, he said he would have played on either side of the ball. They moved him to defense for needed purposes, but he would have played at wide receiver as well. I mean, he's quite the athlete. And
this is a free season for him. When they recruit a little better, maybe they'll have an opportunity to revisit that. But for right now, this was a need thing. They needed him at safety more than they needed him at receiver, because they're deeper at receiver than they are safety, and it becomes a free year, so why not?
We'll revisit this after, I guess, doing it last week. Over under 15 quarterback snaps for Plumlee on Saturday.
I'll go under.
Under at quarterback.
I'll go under. Assuming Corral doesn't get hurt.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Over under 5 snaps at a different position on Saturday. Non-special
snaps,
teams,
not touches, snaps.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. 15? Is that the over-under number?
It's probably pretty close, yeah.
Okay. Assuming Ole Miss gets, 60 snaps, 65 snaps?
Yeah. 15's probably about where I'd put the over-under if I were trying to make money on it in Vegas. By the way, kudos to Vegas, man. They nail so many lines.
What do they do?
Well, just line after line after line this weekend was right on. You had a pretty good week.
I think I made money this week.
You went 5-3 overall, 5-3 against the spread. I was 6-2 overall, 4-4 against the spread. Jeffrey was 6-2, 4-4. Zach was 4-4, 4-4.
Okay, so got a game on everybody.
Yep,
fair enough.
You and Jeffrey have a 1-game lead over me and a significant lead over Zach.
Zach having a rough early go during the
Zach
2 weeks.
is 6-9 against the spread right now. I'm 8-7,
and we're
you're
9-6.
You and Jeffrey.
Yeah, under 500 doesn't win around here. I mean, we get more than that right. I mean, you could put us up on any of those shows and we wouldn't be dead last. We hold our own on these better than people give us credit for sometimes.
I was close on a couple. That Seahawks game was super close.
Yeah,
right on the line. I benefited greatly from review in Hattiesburg.
Yeah,
had that one, and then I got UCF right, where a lot of y'all missed it.
We took tag,
and I missed on the Rams Eagles, as I knew I would the moment I hit publish.
And because they just beat the hell out of Philadelphia. Yeah. It was.
We all missed on Bears Giants.
Yeah. But the Giants lose Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, it was. The Bears are the drunkest team in professional football after watching 2 weeks. I mean, I could jump around with some NFL hot takes because for whatever reason, 2 weeks in, I am watching a ton of NFL, and I don't really know. I don't know why. Chargers-Chiefs was a great game. So here's my Monday overreaction to a game that I saw. All this Justin Herbert criticism, y'all going to be eating some of that. He looks the part, plays the part.
And I wasn't much of a fan.
He's one that I'll get right. I'll be able to go, I told you. And I don't get to do that much. That's a really high ceiling. It's not a Patrick Mahomes ceiling, but I'm not sure there is a Patrick Mahomes ceiling other than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's not fair.
And then hot take number 2, the second best quarterback in the NFL today is Russell Wilson.
I'm not sure Russell Wilson hasn't kind of been the second best quarterback in the NFL. We just don't talk about him.
I'm ready to talk about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's out there, and everybody kind of hates Seattle, so it's easy to be like, yeah, whatever. He's got maybe the best deep ball in the NFL.
Well, and this is where Pete Carroll deserves a lot of credit. Pete Carroll says, I've got a quarterback who's got a thunderbolt for an arm, and I'm going to give him a big target that can run down the field.
They have that.
And by God, DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson fit. That is a really nice combination.
We can talk about him being a second-round pick, and he deserved to be picked higher. He could not have gone to a better organization for his skill set and the way they operate. It was the perfect
Absolutely. Fit. Perfect fit, perfect quarterback.
DK to the Seahawks is David Cutcliffe to Duke. I mean, it is right there.
And then the other one that doesn't get enough credit because we all want to hate the Patriots.
Cam's working.
They got rid of Brady. And make no mistake, they got rid of Brady. And they brought in a guy that everybody else around the NFL, like the Bears, for example.
Did you see the list? It was on Twitter this morning. I should have favorited it so I could have found it for the podcast. The quarterbacks who got more guaranteed money than Cam Newton this offseason.
Yeah, I really don't want. I really don't want to talk about it.
It is a list of like, holy hell.
Because here's the thing: the Bears, if they were a little better at quarterback, and I mean just a little better at quarterback, they're a playoff team.
Well, yeah, no, they've had a good roster. That's not the problem.
I mean, they're a solid defensive team.
Sure, yeah.
That is sometimes borderline really good.
Yeah.
They've got a good running back in Montgomery. It was a good pick. Got a pretty good receiver core. Anthony Miller's a threat. They're good at tight end. The kid from Notre Dame's good. They're okay up front. Give them a good quarterback. Give them Cam Newton in the right system. They're a playoff team. But Cam Newton in New England to finish the point. I mean, give them a ton of credit. This is McDaniels, by the way. This is him every single game going, told you so.
So ESPN stole this stat from whoever had it this morning, but that's fine. It let me find it because ESPN always pops up when you search stuff like this. Here are the quarterbacks who signed deals for more guaranteed money than Cam Newton this offseason.
Okay.
And actually, your boys aren't on the list.
Nick Foles isn't on it?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No. But no, it gets worse, though. Andy Dalton.
Where is Dalton now?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I have no clue. Blaine Gabbert.
Okay.
Colt McCoy.
Oof.
Jeff Driscoll. Chase Daniel.
Driscoll was not awful yesterday in Denver.
Okay. Yeah. Marcus Mariota.
Ooh, already out.
Case Keenum. A.J. McCarron.
Ooh.
Matt Schwab still hanging around.
Matt Schwab still in the NFL?
Matt Barkley. And my personal favorite, signed more money than Cam Newton this offseason, Nathan Peterman.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's so good.
There's your list of quarterbacks that get more guaranteed cash. Now, look, Cam's got a very incentive-laden deal. He's going to make some coin.
Yeah.
But money in pocket,
Nathan
that's
Peterman.
the list. Yeah.
You want proof that not everybody who's running the NFL is a bunch of geniuses. There it is.
Peterman just keeps getting roster spots.
Yeah.
That dude started football games in Buffalo.
I know. By the way, the cat in Buffalo is better than we're giving him credit for.
Allen.
The ceiling's not super high, but the floor's pretty high.
And they're not built for him to have to be the dominant dude. Now, look, I don't know if you win a Super Bowl that way, but they're fine. They're all right. Tennessee win yesterday? What was their final?
Tennessee won 33-30 in a stadium that was completely empty in a city that has no COVID.
Gostkowski hit the field goal to win, but still sucks at every other time of the game.
Yeah.
So he has 2 game-winning field goals in 2 weeks, but has missed extra points in both games.
They're legitimately good,
the
Titans.
Good. They knew who they are. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep doing it.
Well, and, they took a little heat for sticking with the quarterback, but Tannehill's been really solid.
He's fine.
He's not great, but he's solid. He'll win games for you. He was actually pretty good yesterday. I don't know his exact numbers, but every time I turned over to them, they were pretty fun to watch. The Ravens are legitimately good. The Ravens maybe, Chase. They're really good. They're top 3 or 4 teams that I've seen so far.
They're good. Yeah,
they're really good. There's more to them than just.
And now
Lamar
they were very
Jackson.
good in the regular season last year too. This
exactly.
isn't a surprise. Yeah,
but they're solid. They're really good on the defensive end as well. They're more than just the Lamar Jackson show.
Little quick thing. We're bouncing all around, but it's Monday. It's fine. We're getting a lot of stuff. Is Bill Connolly's doing his LSU preview today? And obviously in the SEC, it's relevant. Bill may be the best guy at taking stats and numbers and putting them into what that means for a team.
He's a genius.
Yeah. He's outstanding. He says here, writing the LSU part of today's West preview, maybe come back and round on them. Oh, right, they still have that guy and that guy and that guy. They also miss Georgia. A run at 9-1 or so is doable with just a little ranking overachievement. So what he's done here is he's got, based on whatever his analytics are, and don't make me get into that, is projected margin win probability on every game this season.
Yeah.
And now it says odds of blank conference wins. The odds say they win 6 or 7 and they go 6-4 or 7-3 because just the way things work.
Yep.
It only gives them a 4.9% chance of winning 9. It gives them a 16% chance of winning 8.
Okay.
But point being, when you look at their projected margin, they would start the year win. They're projected to lose to Florida, but only by 6 points, so we're still inside a touchdown, fairly close game. They're projected to lose to Auburn by 2.7 points, Alabama by 9.6, and they're projected by his numbers to lose to A&M by 2.4.
His computer likes
really
A&M.
likes A&M?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I'll pull up the West preview if I can find it. If he's done with it.
In fact, I hope I'm remembering correctly. I've tried to actually research this season a little bit more because I'm doing the show with Chris Landry, and if I'm not a little more informed,
he will really embarrass you.
I will come across as a complete idiot. But I think Connolly's computer likes A&M a good bit.
Really? Okay.
Which makes me go, oh.
Yeah. I'll look for that in a minute, see if he's done with it, see if it's posted somewhere. In the meantime, I'll tell you about Tyson Drugs. It's in Holly Springs. G&M Pharmacy is in Oxford on South Lamar. Get your immune support med pack. Again, a combination of vitamins, supplements designed to boost your immune system, lung health, and more. 30-day supply of vitamin C, zinc, NAC, probiotic, and vitamin D3. It's a great combination of supplements to prepare your body for dangerous viruses. You can stop by Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs, G&M Pharmacy on South Lamar, 662-236-2222.
We are also brought to you by the College Corner. Speaking of picks, they're the one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. Don't know what happened there. They got paused.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the solo shot with me got paused. It was weird. If you don't live in Jackson, it's not a problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. So whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for game day. They have the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. And through the month of October, mention Rebel Grove at checkout. You get 15% off your entire purchase. You can also visit them online. Just put Rebel Grove in the coupon tab at checkout. We're also brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill. It's a great place for breakfast, for a lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. Live music 4 times per week right there at 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson. Dead Soxy is ready for some football to celebrate the return of one of our favorite pastimes. Dead Soxy is giving you free money, free socks. Linked in the sticky thread at rebelgrove.com is a $10 shopping credit on deadsoxy.com. Simply click on the link, create an account, redeem the $10 at checkout, I should say. If you have an account already, you can, or you've already used the code at an earlier date, all you got to do is just create a new account with a different email. You can cash in on the offer over and over again. If you are just an MPW digital listener and not a Rebel Grove subscriber, first of all, shame on you. Second, go ahead and send an email to mike@deadsoxy.com. Get your $10 code emailed right to you. We're just 5 days away from the first Ole Miss football game of 2020. Our friends at Blue Delta Jeans want you to know they're here for your game day needs. It's whether you're one of the lucky few to get into Vaught-Hemingway this season or if you plan to watch the games at home with a few socially distanced friends, a new pair of Blue Delta jeans are just what you need to look great, feel comfortable on Saturdays. Blue Delta's new line of 4-way stretch cotton pants come in 12 colors, including a great new powder blue for their Ole Miss fans. So drop by the Oxford studio, DM Blue Delta Jeans at Blue Delta Jeans on their social media, or email info at bluedeltajeans.com for more information. And remember, just because you won't be in the Grove this year doesn't mean you don't need to look your best for game day.
So he didn't have the charts up in the actual story like he did for LSU there on Twitter, but I did find the preview. He has let's see, I'll just run through it a little bit. From a 2020 projection, he actually has Arkansas projected at 2-8 on the season.
He's got them beating.
Does it go game by game like that, or is it just kind of, hey, here's what the odds are?
Yeah,
of what you do?
I'm in on the odds. He's got them beating Vanderbilt and not Vanderbilt. He's got them beating Missouri
and somebody else.
Can't remember. The other one might be Ole Miss on just a.
Well, probably not, because I'll get there in a
Okay,
second.
okay.
If it's strictly going by what the number says from
Okay.
a 50% standpoint, Mississippi State, he has them going 3-7. This is where
So
I
it
have
might be Mississippi State.
Yeah,
that
because here's my
Arkansas's beating.
problem though. I think we have too many wins. Like somebody's got to lose more to get here. Is why
Yeah.
I'm a little confused by these numbers. He has State going 3-7 in it. He has Ole Miss going 4-8.
4-6.
Yeah, sorry. Oh no, sorry, 4-6. Yeah, you're right. They went 4-8 last year. He has them at 38 though, actually in overall SP plus. Not bad at all, really.
No.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, 4-6. Most people would consider that a win. He talks about, he calls them tantalizing offensive personnel, likes them a lot. He does, however, saying, let's see, he says, schedule's about as kind as SEC West schedule can be. Auburn and Alabama come to Oxford. Rebels always draw Vanderbilt out of the East. Still getting to 500 will require some defensive standouts to emerge and the offensive line to hold up. It also might require some sort of cloning job to combine all of Corral and Plumlee's good traits into one quarterback. So,
Well, we talked about this a lot last year. If you could make the two quarterbacks one person and let them have each of their own, they would have been a really good quarterback. They both have a lot to prove going into the season.
tons.
I mean, the media outside of Oxford just absolutely is in love with Plumlee, but Plumlee has a lot to prove on his. If he were the quarterback, he would be going into this with more question marks than answers, and that holds for Corral too. This is a very unproven quarterback. I think Matt would tell you that.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
So let me ask you this, because I'm working on this piece that I do every year. I always do a best case, worst case, what do I think piece.
Okay.
Worst case for Ole Miss, obviously, is 1-9. That's worst case. A lot has to go wrong, but if the football gods came down and told you they go 1-9, you don't go, oh, no, there's no way.
No, of course not.
What's best case?
No, hold on. Are we doing best case as in
if the football gods came down and told you Ole Miss went blank,
okay,
you wouldn't say, are you guys drunk? You would say, okay, so everything that could work out, worked out. Because 1-9 is everything that could go wrong does.
I mean, everything in the world going right?
No, I mean within reason.
I get it. It's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Because, okay, you've got, on one tier, you've got Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Mississippi State, however you want to do that.
Okay.
And then you got Kentucky, South Carolina.
Yep.
And then it's like, do they just steal one somewhere? Like, some team gets some COVID issues or some team does something and shit happens. Like,
So
that
how
happens.
many games on the schedule, when you look at them, do you go, there's just no way?
I would be very surprised by Alabama. I'd be very surprised by LSU.
Yeah.
Probably Auburn.
Yep.
I think. That's where I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not believing in A&M until I see it. So
See,
sorry, I'm not putting A&M in that.
I go in with 1 and 3 in concrete, and then 6 games.
Okay.
They're beating Vanderbilt, and they're losing. In my opinion, you guys feel free to argue. That's fine. It's cool. In my opinion, they're losing to Alabama, Auburn, and LSU.
Sure.
So you're 1 and 3 going in, and then you start ranking probability games. I think Ole Miss beats Arkansas. I think Ole Miss probably beats Mississippi State.
Okay.
I think Ole Miss probably loses to Texas A&M.
Okay.
So now if you do the wins and losses now, I've got them with 3 wins and 4 losses and 3 games in the middle.
Sure.
I think they probably lose to Florida. Just the only reason I even give them a shot is because it's week 1. Florida has had some COVID weirdness, perhaps, and it's week 1. And week 1 around college football, I don't know if you've watched, but has been weird.
That's what I was asking. Do you give them more of a shot? You give them more of a shot against Florida at home than you would like an LSU on the road,
Yeah.
like the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, is Ole Miss as talented as Florida? God, no. If they were, I mean, Lane Kiffin wouldn't be here today. But, you know, if I told you that, if the football gods came down and told me, like if you look at the opening weekend of games, let's play this game.
Sure.
If they said, we're talking to the football gods. The football gods drop into the Clark Ford studios and they say, hey, Chase, Kentucky beats Auburn. You go, okay, I mean, I can see it. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
If they
sure.
tell you, hey, Chase, Vanderbilt beats Texas A&M, you're like, man, how much have you guys been drinking? Seriously, before you guys got here, where were you? Did you go to Funky's or what? I mean, what's going on? If the football gods tell you Alabama loses at Missouri, you're like, nope.
Yeah.
You guys are drunk. Go to bed. If the football gods tell you Georgia loses at Arkansas Saturday, you're like, man, you guys, you're not going to trick me with this. If the football gods tell you Mississippi State beats LSU, you're like, really? But I can see it. LSU loses a lot. Weird game in Tiger Stadium. They didn't really know what to prepare for, and KJ Costello had a good game, and they won on some freaky deal. You don't expect it, but if I told you that happened, you'd go, well, LSU's replacing
It's the category
everything.
that I would put Ole Miss in with A&M, though. That's kind of that one like where you go, hey, probably not, but hey, A&M's A&M and whatever. And
but if you told me that either Mississippi State beat LSU or Ole Miss beat Florida, I think I'd go, gosh, Ole Miss beat Florida because Dan Mullen's teams always have a stinker too.
Get a really big gift basket from Kirby Smart.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just a really big one.
Kirby would call Lane and go, hey, you remember those good days we had back in whenever?
Appreciate that,
Yeah,
bud.
good for you. That's a good W.
Yeah. Good luck in Lexington next weekend.
Matt does not say hello.
There's this cool steakhouse over on Front Street in Lexington. Tell them I sent you.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know when you're going. I'll
maybe
call.
A bottle of wine waiting on you.
There'll be something waiting on you.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how I look at it. I mean, I think maybe.
Okay.
And then South Carolina's real winnable. I think Kentucky will be favored against Ole Miss next week.
Well,
significantly favored. Yeah.
That's 8, 9.
8 to 10 points.
Yeah, something like that.
Depending on what Ole Miss looks like against Florida.
You're taking Auburn above A&M in the West?
Yes, I've got Auburn. I think I had Auburn second or third.
Did you?
Yeah. I think it's Alabama 1, and then LSU, Auburn in some order, 2, 3. A&M's 4. I had Ole Miss 5, State 6, and Arkansas 7. If you told me that Arkansas pulled off a game that no one's giving them, I'd give them Arkansas. Mississippi State.
We'll have picks, obviously, on Thursday, just kind of looking quickly at lines as we're scrolling through. Nationally, I'm seeing anything sticks out before I get to the SEC games. Florida State plays Miami. Miami an 11-point favorite against the Seminoles this weekend.
Lay them.
Yeah, Miami was okay.
They look good.
Yeah, Miami looked good.
No, Miami looked good. Now, Louisville looked like crap, but Miami looked
Pittsburgh,
good.
3-point favorites over Louisville this weekend in Pitt.
I kind of like Pittsburgh in that game.
Notre Dame, a 17-point favorite on the road in Winston-Salem against the Demon Deacs.
That's money.
Yeah, they're winning by 17 Saturday.
Notre Dame looks the part right now. I know that they're Notre Dame and all that stuff, but right now they look the part.
Tennessee -3 against South Carolina in Columbia to open the year.
It's a crazy game.
I'm taking Tennessee. I don't believe in South Carolina. I don't really believe in Tennessee to do anything crazy, but I feel like they are better than Carolina. Jeremy Pruitt did a pretty good job last year. As much as I want to give him crap, and that's more fun, he was fine.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he's fine. If you told me they finished as high as third in the East, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
They could finish ahead of Kentucky. I mean,
yeah
that's fine. Something like that. Let's see. Alabama, Missouri. Alabama 28 is what I have for that one in front of me.
Yeah, Neal's Picks has it 28.5.
Okay, well, it's falling to 28 now.
Okay.
So we've got 28 with that one, Florida and Ole Miss. It is 14.5 across the board as of right now.
Oh, I got it at 13.
It opened at 12.5. It has since jumped to 14.5.
So the money coming in on the Gators.
Yes, that is correct.
I mean, from an outside standpoint,
that makes no sense. Yeah, that's
knowing
fine.
what little you know, I don't know how you could say, "Hey, Ole Miss, I'm gonna take points here."
Yeah, I mean, Florida's a top 10 team, and there are no crowds anywhere. I mean, you're just playing a game in a stadium. I mean, it's
going to be weird to go look at the Grove on Saturday.
Nothing with the game.
Isn't it going to be strange? Are they going to put Cobra security all around it to prevent anybody from tailgating?
Yeah, I guess there's no trash cans out on Friday because there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Because that always kind of signal football season. You drive to the campus, see all the trash cans out on Friday, and you go, oh.
I mean, what will they do if a family of 4 just goes and sits down on a blanket and breaks out some chicken?
Well, it used to be closed. Is it still? It's not closed anymore. You can go through it, right, and sit and do whatever.
It's a public institution.
Well, I get that, but it used to be closed. At the early part of the pandemic, the Grove was closed for sitting.
That really, looking back on that should have bothered me more than it did.
I mean, I remember the press
really
conferences
bothers me
early
now.
on when we talked about that kind of stuff. Let's see. Oklahoma, 28 over Kansas State. Georgia, 27 against Arkansas as of right now.
I've got it at 24.5, so the money really jumped on Arkansas today.
Well, it's jumping on Georgia.
I meant Georgia.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's jumping on Georgia against Arkansas. Iowa State, after their clunker earlier this season, they are a 17-point under. No, is that really right? Hold on, what happened? What has happened in this game? How many people does somebody have out?
I don't know.
This line opened, if Vegas Insider's correct, again, I'm reading off the line, Iowa State opened as a 10-point favorite. They are now a 17-point underdog.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what's happened at Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State has, if this is correct, the line has moved 27 points.
That's bound to just be incorrect.
Yeah, surely, right?
Let me pull that up on like OddsShark and see what I get.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's where it's sitting as of right now. Well, hold on, though. I've got Texas Tech playing Texas, too. What's going on? Did a game get canceled?
Oh, Vegas Insider had a lot of games that were originally scheduled for this week.
Oh, okay. See, I've got Iowa State playing TCU this weekend, too. I've got Iowa State games everywhere on my page.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, never mind. Okay. Never mind.
Okay, these are some of those lines. Yeah, as of right now, you're right. Ole Miss is a 14.5-point dog. Let's see. What was the one you were looking for?
Whoever Iowa State plays.
Okay. I'm looking. Louisiana Monroe, a 9-point favorite over UTEP. UTEP must really suck. Cincinnati, a 14-point favorite over Army. That's actually a really good game.
That's a fun game. What time is that game?
3:30.
Oh, good.
I guess that's Eastern.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. So we can flip to that. Louisiana Tech, which coming off a dramatic win, they're a 27-point favorite over Houston Baptist. I don't have an Iowa State game.
Oh, really?
NC State, Virginia Tech, NC State. I got them. They were the other one I got right that y'all all missed. Y'all all had Wake. I had NC State.
Okay.
And then BYU, a 14-point favorite at home against Troy.
Okay.
So I don't see Iowa State on there.
Okay. That's fine. Kentucky and Auburn, you mentioned that. I got it at 7.5 or 7, depending on the book that you have in front of you.
I have it at 8.
Okay, so it's come down just a touch. A little money on Kentucky there. Vanderbilt and A&M, I have A&M across the board as a 30-point favorite against the Vanderbilt Commodores in the opener.
Yeah, 29.5.
Okay, and then Mississippi State and LSU, it is 16 or 16.5 or 17, depending on your book.
Yeah, I've got it at 17.
Okay, so it's one of any of those. Tulane Southern Miss is this weekend. The Green Wave, a 3-point favorite over Southern Miss.
After a devastating loss for both of those teams.
Yeah.
The coach at Southern Miss, you can't do that act week after week after week. That's going to run really.
After a week.
Yeah, you can't even do it in week 2.
Let's see, Duke, Virginia. The Who's are a 5-point favorite against Duke this weekend. What?
I was thinking about that Louisiana Tech Southern Miss game. Can you imagine if that call doesn't get made when the Tech coaches look at the film of that final play? Because he could have stopped, read the Emancipation Proclamation, and then walked in. The path was the seas parted,
And yet,
and he did the college quarterback thing, and he threw it. And the kid made one hell of a play to go up and get the ball and come down and get foot in.
wasn't that the gist of the last play in the Ernie Accorsi Eli Auburn game? He could have ran it in for the win, and
could have run
waited, and tried to throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge gap there to just run the thing in for the touchdown.
I was covering Auburn that year, and I remember the one thing I remember about that game was after the game, I asked Gene Chizik, who at the time
This is 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
I asked Gene Chizik, who at the time was the Auburn defensive coordinator. I said, "Now that you've gone against him, how good is Manning?" And he said he's better than his brother. He said he's a number 1 pick.
Well, that's a quote.
And that was before the 2003 season. So he saw the same things that day that Ernie Accorsi saw.
By the way, just to finish our conversation earlier, there are 4. Actually, ULM is not listed, so this might be old. There are 4 Louisiana law schools mentioned. That is the Paul Hebert Law Center at LSU, That is Southern University Law Center, Baton Rouge, Tulane Law School, New Orleans, and Loyola, New Orleans.
Okay.
The 4 that are listed on the website.
So there's Monroe and then 3 for the people that can't get into Monroe.
Yeah, I don't have the ratings up of all those at the moment.
I can just tell you.
You don't need the numbers.
No.
I mean, I
don't need data. We're ignoring data on COVID. Why can't we ignore data on law schools?
So, Deion Sanders. Did you watch any of that this morning?
I saw the arrival ceremony, which
was something.
It was something else.
Look, he's going to raise some money. He's going to recruit a little bit. I don't know if he can coach at all. I highly doubt he knows much of anything whatsoever.
About Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, he played MRA a few weeks ago.
Oh, he did. That's true.
Yeah, that's when they had their first conversation. He was in town playing MRA.
Is that right?
Yeah. Legitimately. That's true.
The Jackson State Band is really good.
They
were scattered around in that building, I'm sure, and part of them were playing here,
and
they're really good. What are they called? The Sonic Boom. Yeah, they're really good.
The Sonic Boom.
You're like, there's got to be some schools out there that go, hey, can we just trade bands? Yeah. Hello.
Well, I mean, you almost want to schedule them and go, just bring the band. Like, just bring the band.
Yeah.
Like, why are you playing the other schools? Like, why play Southeast Missouri? Play Jackson State and tell them to bring the dang band.
Yeah, give them the bye and say, but bring your entire band.
Yeah.
And you guys perform for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're halftime.
And we'll tell our band just take a soda break.
Yeah. Couple squat.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's no-brainer. If you're going to play an FCS school anyway, play Jackson State and tell them to bring the band.
Of course.
Everybody will like it. They'll hang around at halftime to see that.
Oh, for sure.
I would.
I would too.
Well, some of the media would wait for their cookie for a little while. Some won't.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Some of the media would go back for another cookie.
It's my favorite story in the world. Is Hugh Kellenberger used to tell it when he covered the Big Ten. And I think it was Ohio State. They had a McFlurry machine. And he said the first game he covered there, be 7 minutes left in the second quarter. And he's like, where the hell is everybody going? And they're lining up in the back for the halftime McFlurries with half the second quarter to go. And he said everybody just cleared out and it circled back around into the back of the press box.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was at Auburn back in the day. They'd bring out hot dogs at a halftime. It might have been Georgia.
Georgia does.
Georgia.
Because Georgia tries to feed you nonstop. They have a pregame meal that's always really heavy. They do hamburgers or hot dogs at halftime, and then they bring deli sandwiches around after the game.
Yeah.
They try to feed you 3 times throughout the
But people would get lined up for a hot dog, and you wanted to go, it's just a hot dog, man. I mean, you've had hot dogs. What is the big deal?
Vanderbilt has the worst press box food in the country, but they serve gourmet gelato. It's the weirdest juxtaposition in the world. They'll do breakfast and the sausage is gray.
Yeah.
And it's inedible. But then they'll have would you like these 8 flavors of gelato that we have? It's
well, the other thing is at their baseball games,
it's like fajita bar.
It's fajita bar and they have the Major League Baseball extra innings package and all. It's really cool. And then you go to a football game there and you're like, so welcome to junior high school football.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
And
Auburn,
basketball too. Their basketball media stuff is just
it's bad.
Yeah, it's you're not going to eat.
So you're telling me Tim Corbin basically does something and everybody else doesn't.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Tim Corbin says I'm going to.
We are going to take care of this
with a different set of rules.
Yes.
The uniform says Vanderbilt. What it means is Corbin.
He's his own AD.
Yes. Done a hell of a job.
Frankly, Mike is too, to a point, but Corbin to even another level.
To another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Vanderbilt can't keep an AD. They don't know what they're doing in their department half the time. I mean, it's.
Well, that's what would be interesting if Tim Corbin ever decided to walk away. And like the rest of us, his clock will expire at some point. Does that job become? I can't believe we're going to talk about Vanderbilt baseball for a moment on
it's okay.
Monday, September the 21st, when we waited 10 years for a game. Is that program elevated to the point that just anyone could take it, or would you have to look at it and go, okay, well, will the next guy get the same leeway, the same control that Corbin gets?
They're going to hire an established name, and I think he would get the same leeway. Now, it's still replacing Saban, and you better, by God, do it.
Be tough.
And now look, it took him a while. I mean, he didn't win a title to 14. Went back in 15, and he won another one a couple years ago or whenever it was, last year. I don't know. It's all running together. But
I can remember it was a long time ago. It might have been when I was covering – when did he start?
Corbin would have started in like 04-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
So I'll tell you when it was. I was doing the SEC for the Mobile Register, and I know exactly when this was. It was one of those years that I had that, and then I had to go straight to Destin.
Okay.
So I was doing laundry at a laundromat in Hoover.
First season.
It was 3 or 4. I was doing laundry at a laundromat in Hoover, and the guy next to me was Corbin's brother.
Okay.
And he told me that his brother was about to win big at Vanderbilt.
Well.
And I remember thinking, well, that's what all brothers say. I would hope my brother would say, my brother's going to win big at wherever.
He wasn't wrong.
I remember him saying it with a level of confidence that the conversation struck me.
You thought, huh?
Yeah. Going to win big.
Okay.
He did. Truer words.
But point being, I mean, he was really the guy who couldn't get it done for so long. I mean, he was the laughing stock over that 2007 regional when they lost to Michigan with David Price and Mike Minor and Casey Weathers and Pedro Alvarez. I mean, okay, you deserve that one, Tim. But I mean, it's the number one job in the country is clear. It's not even a debate. It's not up for interpretation. It's one school. It's Vanderbilt.
These are the things that bother me on our screen. Joe Biden is speaking from Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He could take his mask off to speak, right?
I mean, I don't know what the laws are in a state he's in. Is the one whatever I'll give you there. I don't know the answer to that.
Just feels like that's a camera thing.
Well, no, it is that.
He knows the cameras are on him. And by the way, I don't blame them for that. I have a Adam Carolla take that I think he nailed today.
Okay.
About coronavirus and stuff. He said what disturbs him the most is not the candidates, because you know what their motivation is. Biden's motivation is to become president. Trump's motivation is to stay president. He said, I don't blame the media because you understand what CNN's motivation is, for example. It is, hey, we're making a ton of money. Our ratings are sky high. We want to keep milking this for all it's worth. His frustration is the same as mine, which is I'm frustrated with people. What's people's motivation for just marching right along? At what point do people raise their hands and go, hey, why are we still doing some of this? The numbers are way down. Why aren't some of the regulations going way down?
And Mississippi is moving theirs.
But, I mean, he meant precipitously.
Yeah.
And, if you think about it in those terms, if you can put your politics to the side, you understand the motivation of the candidates. They have a very clearly delineated motivation. I never really thought about it in those words until I listened to that podcast this morning, and I was like, oh, you have a point.
I don't know why I'm even mentioning this right now because we're way down the rabbit hole. But Jack Leggett at Clemson, baseball coach for a long time, I think he had Corbin and Kevin O'Sullivan as assistants on his staff at the same time. I think those were his 2 assistants.
Seems like I've heard that before.
Was Florida head coach Kevin O'Sullivan and then Tim Corbin. His coaching tree is ridiculous. Eric Bakich is also the head coach at Michigan. Was under him. There's a lot of guys there. Anyway, we're not. I don't know why we got on that subject. Well, I know we got on the subject, but nonetheless.
Curious to see if I get stuck here on one, if it sticks again or if it lets me talk. There, it's back normal. I'll tell you, this podcast brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. Speaking of the Jackson area, they've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. Pinnacle Trust treats investing like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, P-I-N-N trust.com. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. There's a lot of great deals out there. If you are traveling, if you're looking to travel, get in touch with John. He knows where those deals are. You can't find them all on the internet. Trust me, he's tested me on this, and it's true. Get in touch with him. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. Give him some ideas that you have, and then sit back. Let him take care of you. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, that is the place to go. Also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. It's also home to Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account with Kasasa. OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationally. Live Oxford, bankoxford.com or 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we're brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group, dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. 901-365-3447 or email Ben, B-E-N, at bluffcityadvisory.com. And we're brought to you by Bain, Moss, and Bowen, PLLC, a law firm located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss, and Bowen, PLLC, is the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit judge. Their experience is unmatched, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street there in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620.
Bill has all the SEC teams just beating up one another because he has Alabama at 8-2, he has A&M at 7-3, he has Auburn at 6-4, and he has LSU on here at 7-3. So yeah, he got everybody losing.
Yeah,
got Bama losing twice.
Yeah, they got to play Georgia. They got to play LSU, Auburn.
So Georgia's one, obviously, and then there'll be one more.
Yeah, if you tell me they lost to Georgia and either LSU or Auburn, I'd buy it. Sure. I mean, they're really good, but
it's the year we don't know much about them, though.
Yeah, they're weird at quarterback. You got Jones, who's waited his turn, and then you've got the freshman that everyone's in love with. Saban would probably prefer to go with Jones.
Of course. I don't know. I'm intrigued because we don't know much. It's almost kind of more fun this way. We turn it on Saturday and go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like. I mean,
Will Strahan wants to know, will we be at the game or watching remote? We will be here in the Clark Ford Studios. We go online, I guess that would be the term, right, at 9 a.m.
Sure.
We've got a really good show planned for you from 9 to 11. We'll stay on and be with you throughout the football game. We've got a couple things planned for that as well. And then we'll have hand-raised guys after the game. We'll have I'll bounce out of here for about an hour or so to do some coverage for the site. Then I'll come back and we'll have we'll go for a while. I don't know how long we'll go. We'll turn on the other games. We'll talk about the Ole Miss game. Got a lot of kind of cool things planned for you. Frankly, there's no real reason to go to the game.
Everything's on Zoom. It's
you know, I mean, I guess if you were there for the pregame stuff, but you'd have to watch that from the press box. You couldn't go down. You can't go down to the field. There's just no reason to be there from a media standpoint, except for, frankly, here's the truth. I'll make some people mad. Why not? I've been good all day today. There will be some people who will go to the games because they don't want their employers to see that you can do this without going to the game. And that's why. Here's the thing. From a media standpoint, if you can get down on the field and talk to people before games, it can be worth going.
Yeah.
You can work on other things, get some other stuff. But if you can't have any field access, you can't have access to the people that you cover, I mean, you're just going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Quickly, here as we wrap, the SEC East projections from Connolly has found those. He has Vanderbilt going 1-9 on the season. So does haven't beaten somebody. I don't know who, but has them winning a game. Has Missouri going 4-6 on the season. Has Carolina going 4-6. I'd like the under there. I think they're bad. I don't believe in South Carolina at all.
You're really sour on them.
Yeah, I don't like them. I really don't. Kentucky 5-5 on the year, so actually Kentucky below the others.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tennessee 5-5 on the seasons, so actually kind of likes Carolina a little bit compared to some of these. Florida 8-2, and then Georgia at 8-2 as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of just
like
stuff.
You said. If Lane Kiffin starts out 1-0, Kirby Smart will be quite the Lane Kiffin fan Saturday night.
So back tomorrow, we'll look at some other stuff. We'll do a little more NFL tomorrow too. I do have some more thoughts. You got the Saints playing the Raiders tonight. We'll probably discuss that a little bit. Michael Thomas out for New Orleans. So it's an interesting thing. He's seeing the Packers doctor, and it's whether the Packers doctor releases him to play against the Packers next week. A little bit of a twist there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just one of those things. I mean, everybody sees that guy for your injury. I mean, there's certain NFL doctors, depending on what's wrong with you. It's what you do. I mean, like when Gray Kessinger had the Jones fracture, the Carolina Panthers doctor is like the preeminent specialist for that. That's who he.
He's the guy that did Kevin Durant's surgery.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we'll be back. We'll do a little more NFL, a lot of stuff at rebelgrove.com. In the meantime, we got some stuff on tap for the rest of the week, and we will talk to you again on Tuesday.